If your Facebook ads are extremely expensive, what should you do? In this video, I'm going to be covering 10 extremely important things that you need to be doing with your Facebook or Instagram ads right now to reduce your cost per result. Now, whether you're promoting a free opt-in, a webinar, a lead magnet, or you're selling a product or a service, I know how frustrating it can be to run ads and get amazingly awful results. But not to worry, in this video, I'm going to show you how to fix all of that. So today I'm going to be walking you through 10 main reasons why your clicks are not turning into conversions. And more importantly, everything you need to do to turn that around immediately. So stick around because this video isn't just a one-time fix. It's a checklist you should refer to every time you want to launch a new campaign. So let's dive in. The first thing I want you to understand is that there are 3 players in the game. One is Facebook, the second is the user, and the third one is the advertiser. That is you that is trying to run profitable ads. Now, the one thing you should know is that Facebook prioritizes giving the user the best experience over pleasing the advertiser. So by default, giving Facebook positive signals from your ads is going to automatically result in you paying a cheaper cost per impression, which translates into cheaper cost per result. So now let's dive into the strategies you need to start reducing your Facebook cost per results. Number 1, don't choose the wrong campaign objective. Now, this is a hill I would happily die on. When you're setting up your Facebook ad, the objective you choose actually tells Facebook the type of results you are looking for. So what that means is that if you want awareness, you should select awareness. If you want sales, you should select sales. If you're running a lead generation campaign, then you should select a lead generation campaign. Do not select the traffic objective when what you are actually looking for is sales, because there's a very, very high chance that your ads are going to be extremely expensive because you are showing your ads to people who are most likely to click on an ad without taking any action. Now, when you select the sales objective, for example, one thing you would notice is that your cost per click will most likely go up, but you really shouldn't panic and worry about it. What you should focus on is your cost per results, your cost per conversion. How much are you spending and how much are you making in terms of sales? Number 2 is the use of different types of creative per platform. Now, Facebook offers different placement. You have your Facebook, you have your Instagram, you have your Reels, your stories, you have Explore feed, right-hand columns, different places where your ads can show. Now, by default, most people just upload the exact same creative and then it gets chopped off and looks super awful across devices, thereby causing bad user experience. And remember what we said at the beginning of the video, which is that Facebook hates anything that causes bad user experience. So they would make your ads expensive. So what you want to do is to make sure you customize your creative for the different platforms. But one thing you can do, the easiest thing you can do is to make sure that your creative is in the square format. When it's in the square format, it tends to at least work across most of all the other platforms. So that is an option. If not, what you can do is to just make sure you customize your creative per platform. For your Reels, for your stories, you have your portrait mode, and then for your feed, you Explore, you have the square version. Number 3, you want to make sure you ensure congruence between your ads and your landing page. So that means they need to match. Your copy and your design has to match between your ads and your landing page. So your ad promises one thing, your landing page has to deliver that thing. Because if your landing page delivers something else, even if it is something as simple as having a blue themed image and then your landing page is yellow themed, people can bounce off due to lack of trust, and that automatically signals Facebook that they are having bad user experience and your ads get expensive. By the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, as that is you signaling to YouTube that you like this type of video and you want to see more videos like it. You should also don't forget to subscribe so that you can get notified when I release new videos on my channel. So let's get back into our video. Number 4, one important thing you need to do is expand your audience size. Now, the truth is that targeting larger audience, especially for your cold audience, will definitely reduce your cost per impressions, which is going to give you cheaper cost per result. Facebook actually doesn't like people even using targeting right now because they had issues since the iOS 14 update. You have less targeting options. So I always advise people, try to make sure your audience, which is usually displayed right here, estimated audience size, it should definitely be more than 300,000, 400,000 and above. Of course, if you have a high budget, you definitely want to make sure you have at least 1 million and above in terms of audience size. Because if you make your audience size too small, for whatever reason it is, your ads are going to be extremely expensive. Now, of course, this doesn't count for warm ads and retargeting ads. Your audience is always going to be small, and because of that, your cost per click, your cost per impression is going to be expensive, but your cost per results, which is your cost per sales, is always going to be cheap. So for audience expansion, you do that for your cold audience. And if you have any reason why you want to really streamline, what you can do is the creative-based targeting, where you use your creative to actually call out your audience to make sure they know that you are talking to them, as against trying to shrink your audience size into 10,000, 50,000, because your ads will just be very expensive. Number 5, you just want to make sure you create better ads. Now, Facebook determines ad quality by using user feedback and engagement rates. So positive feedbacks like clicks, likes, saves can lower your CPM, while negative feedbacks like them hiding your ad or marking it as "I've seen this ad for too long," or "this doesn't relate to me," whatever that option is going to result in negative feedback, which would make your ads expensive. Now, you can check ad quality metrics on Facebook using this option, which is usually found under the ads level. You have your quality ranking, your engagement ranking, and your conversion rate ranking. Now, you notice it doesn't show on every single ad, but you can see it on some of them. Now, I don't necessarily use it as a yardstick, but I just like having it just to check to see what is going on, especially if the ad is not doing. If the ad is doing amazingly well, I probably am not going to bother about it. But if it is not doing well and your click-through rate is lower than 1%, for example, then you definitely want to make sure that you work on that. And another thing hidden inside this number 5 is that you also want to make sure you keep your ad frequency low, because when people see your ads too much, that is usually when they mark the ad as, "I don't want to see this ad, I've seen it too many times," that kind of thing, which will make your ads more expensive. So you want to make sure you are rotating your creatives, your copy as you are running your ads, to make sure people are seeing fresh new things every time. Number 6, you want to make sure you test different optimization. For example, when you're running a sales campaign, just like the one I opened up, you have different conversion events you can select. You have add to cart, initiate checkout, purchases, view content, and the rest. Now, by default, if you're running an e-commerce brand, for example, you would want to select purchase. But interestingly, for e-commerce, it's actually usually better, especially for your cold campaigns, to run initiate checkout or add to cart. That way, Facebook is able to gather data faster of the types of people that are interested, and then you can easily retarget them from the back end. So if you're just targeting just purchases alone and you see that it is very expensive, you might want to select other optimization option events like initiate checkout, like add to cart, just to see if you'll be able to get better results. Of course, you have to also make sure you are running number 1, retargeting ad. Number 2, you have an abandoned cart campaign set up on your website, so that when people reach out, when they fill the form to make a purchase and they don't complete their purchase, you are able to send them follow-up emails automatically. Number 7, you want to consider limiting your ads placement for your cold campaign. Now, a lot of people are divided, they are torn on this, but this is definitely what I personally do. So this option is actually hidden currently. What you want to do is click on this, and instead of using Advantage Plus placements, which is what's recommended, you select manual placements. So for cold campaigns, you want to make sure you only select Facebook and Instagram. You can also select Messenger, but I only use Facebook and Instagram. I don't use Audience Network. I rarely use Messenger. But if you're running ads to your warm audience, if you're running retargeting ads, remarketing ads, then you can definitely use Advantage Plus placements. I only use Advantage Plus placements for my warm audience, because what I noticed through my breakdown is that I tend to get a lot of clicks from audience networks without people actually making payments. Now, just to put into perspective, audience network ads are those ads that pop up on things like Truecaller. They are those ads that pop up when you are playing a game and you are supposed to watch an ad to get to an extra level. You know that you are usually not in a buyer frame of mind when you are seeing ads like that. So that just makes them a bit of a hassle at that point in time. And I don't want people to see my ad as hassle, which probably explains why a lot of money goes there, because there's a lot of people viewing ads to play games, to unlock new things, but they are not buying because they are playing games. So I always remove it from my campaigns when I'm running my cold audience, and it has definitely helped to reduce my costs. Number 8 is the timing of your ad. Now, this is something that you consider, not that you are doing something specific. The timing of your ad campaign can significantly affect your cost per result. Things like weekends, public holidays, and even Black Friday can definitely affect your result. Let me give you a good example. In the past, when I'm running ads, I usually get amazing results over the weekend while sales during the week just sort of trickles in. But in the past 1 year, I noticed that across 2 accounts that I am managing, once it's weekend, the ads get extremely expensive and I do not get sales right up until Monday of the next week before sales starts picking up again. So that is definitely something to also consider, because a lot of times your timing might be the issue. It might just be a fiscal year kind of situation where a lot of big brands are currently throwing money into adverts. Once that happens, they are going to be bidding on most of the possible interest, while you are also bidding, and automatically, because they are spending more, they are going to show way more, and ads are going to get more expensive for you because there's a limited amount of inventory. So you want to consider how you want to manage your ad spend within those types of period, because when you are aware of trends like that, you can then schedule your ads around the cheaper period. Number 9, poor landing page design. Now this applies whether it's a website or it's a social media page. So for your website plays a huge role, and there are some factors that usually affect it. For example, your copywriting, you want to keep it short, you want to keep it clear, you want to keep it sharp, and make sure that your call to action is easy to see. Whether it is long form copy, whether it is short form copy, just make sure you are straight to the point. You are telling them exactly what they're going to get, the benefits, and the easiest way to get it at that point in time. You also want to make sure it's visually appealing. Now, you don't just want to make sure it is beautiful. You have to make sure it is also functional. They are able to easily navigate through your website. And then most importantly, your page speed. You do not want to mess with page speed. Now, there's a tool you can actually use to calculate your website's page speed. gtmetrics.com is extremely amazing for this. Once you log into gtmetrics.com, actually, you don't need to log in, if I remember correctly. That might have changed though, but I am currently logged in because I have a free account which you can easily register. You just enter your landing page URL, not just the website, the specific page you want to send people to. You click on analyze, and then you get your results, which is going to tell you whether your website loads fast or it loads slowly. Because one thing you might not know is that if people are having issues navigating your website due to speed issues, they are going to bounce off, which is going to tell Facebook people don't like your ad and your ads are going to get expensive. And if you're running ads to your social media pages, you want to make sure you have your testimonials. You want to make sure your posts are clean, your posts are clear. You want to make sure that the first 9 posts has at least one testimonial or review, so that when the person immediately opens the page, that's one of the things that the person sees. You also want to make sure it is congruent with the ad that they saw. All these types of things are things that usually really help to reduce your cost per result. And number 10, make sure you optimize your website for mobile phones. This is something that I see a lot. People build beautiful websites, but those websites are not easily accessible on mobile devices. And seeing as probably more than 70% of your traffic is going to be coming from mobile phones, you definitely want to make sure that your landing page, your website is optimized for mobile phones. If not, people would bounce off, and you are going to end up paying a whole lot of money for your cost per results, because then only people with extremely amazing internet will be able to access your landing page. You also want to make sure that things like pop-ups, things like forms work perfectly on your landing page. You don't just want to make sure they work on desktop. You have to make sure it works on your mobile device also. Now, I'd like to leave you with 2 key points. The first one, don't make drastic changes to your ad just because your cost per impression is extremely high, especially if your overall results is good. Let me show you a good example. Some people might say cost per 1,000 impression of 3,500 and say, oh, that is too expensive, let me kill it. On the other hand, it has pretty much the cheapest cost per purchase, which is 3,200. And if we scroll down to the one that is 2,600 cost per impression, which is lower, cost per 1,000 impression, which is lower, you can see that those ones are even way more expensive than it. So you want to make sure that when you are checking your data, you are not having knee-jerk reaction on things like your cost per 1,000 impression and things like your click-through rates. Second thing is linked to the first thing, which is that your CPMs are not something that you should be obsessing over. You want to focus on overall return metrics like your return over ad spend and your cost per acquisition. And there you have it. I just covered 10 key reasons why your Facebook ads would have gotten expensive and the exact process to fix them. I hope you found this video useful. And if you want to dive deeper into other advanced Facebook ads tactics, I created a video for it and I'm going to leave a link to it in the description below so you can check it out. Thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video.